knocked him about before Hans beat the life out of him.
Is there any way I can help? I owe it to Capon, and I want to do whatever I can.
You owe him, all right. I've got a bit of that Lethean potion left. It ought to work wonders on him, same as on you. But I can't just give it to him now. First, we have to deal with that fever. The best and fastest remedy for that is chamomile decoction. Luckily, it ain't too hard to brew, but we'll need some fresh sage for it. And, of course, chamomile. You ought to be able to manage that. You've got young legs and eyes, and I reckon a bit of a stroll would do you good.
But you said Lethean potion could be fatal. Do you really want to try it on Hans?
He's young and well-nourished. He ought to be able to handle it, as long as we get his fever down first. After all, it worked on you, and considering how he's wounded, we don't have no better option.
All right. If you think so.
I do. But first, we'll be needing them fresh herbs.
All right. Tell me, what do the herbs look like?
Sage has a purple blossom, and chamomile has white petals with a yellow centre. At the back of the hut, there's a footpath leading up to the rocks. You go along there till you reach a sort of small meadow. You ought to find both of them there.
Great. I'll be back in a jiffy with a couple of handfuls.
All right. I'll be glad if you get back here soon. I don't feel right being here with that corpse in my yard. Seeing him lying there gives me chills. I can't think straight.
I understand. It makes me anxious too. Maybe I could manage to bury him somewhere. Or at least hide him somewhere further off in the woods.
The Lord be praised. I'd be truly glad of that. Do you feel up to it, laddie? You ain't in the best of shape, and digging a grave's a tough job, even for a healthy fella.
Not to worry. I'll see what I can manage. It's on account of us that he's here anyway. I wouldn't want you to have any more trouble. And a bit of effort, even if it's a dirty job, is the least I owe you.
Well, if you think you can manage it, good. But don't overstrain yourself. And thanks.
Where should I put him?
Grab the spade by the dung pile and bury him by the creek. The soil will be softer there, so it should be easier. When you head out the gate, follow your nose. Find a good spot somewhere in the reeds and nettles. And when you're done with that, better have a wash, so's you don't have the stench of death on you.
True. I'll bear that in mind.
I'll sort out the rest with Ignatius, the gravedigger, when he comes by again, so's I don't have that wretch lying here till Judgment Day.
All right. I'll get to it.
I've seen fellas in worse states, but in better ones too.
Ah, shit! My shoulder. This bastard's hard work. I'll put him down somewhere for a while so I can start digging. May the earth rest lightly on you, you bastard. I hope you find peace. And don't come out to haunt anyone. Damn, his shoulder still hurts like hell. Maybe now it'll tell me when it's gonna rain. Purple flower, sage, there we go. That's it, chamomile. Right, I've got all the herbs I need, so back to Bajena on the double. The sooner Hans gets that remedy, the better. What's that dog making such a fuss about? Could something have happened at Bajena's?
They slaughtered some knight and his company yesterday down by the pond. 2 of them fled. Hey, you! What do you want? Lord von Bergov sent us to find the renegades who ambushed some knight's company down by the pond yesterday. A couple of them fled and are hiding out here in the rocks. So tell me who you are and what you know about it.
You're from Lord von Bergov? You don't look like it.
Kulva! Watch your tongue with me, boy. When I say we're from von Bergov, then we're from fucking von Bergov. Who else would we be from anyway? You can talk to me or talk to Cold Steel. Who the hell are you? And what are you doing here?
Do you think I'm a fool? I know a robber when I see one. There's been lots of you types in these parts recently, and the fellas from the village are well pissed off. So get lost and don't come back, or we'll take our axes to you.
Well, that wouldn't be very nice. The thing is, I don't see no angry fellas with axes. Just an old hag, and some wretch who won't live to tell the tale of how we dealt with him.
Hey, you!
This'll be quick, boy.
Sick of grass.
Come on, then. Fuck you.
Take that!
Shut
know your stuff. Fuck that.
Did they hurt you?
No, but I think they would have if you hadn't come along.
Sorry. I reckon it was one of those who followed us yesterday.
Look here. I almost got slaughtered twice in one day on account of you two. God be praised that my Pavlena wasn't here. Heaven knows what they'd have done to her. So, I'd like to know why all this is happening. Your friend was talking in a delirium in the night, saying you was knights. But if you two are knights, then I'm the Queen of Sheba.
Well, I must bow to your ladyship. Sir Hans is the young lord of Leiper and Perkstein. I'm Henry of Skalitz, son of Sir Radzig Kobyla, and I'm his bodyguard. We were heading to Trotsky to deliver a message from Sir Hanush of Leiper and Margrave Jobst to Lord von Berghoff. But we were ambushed by bandits yesterday down by the pond, and you already know the rest. And as God is my witness, we're no bandits. I swear to you, I'm thankful to you for saving us. And I'm sorry it caused you trouble.
Well, you sound sincere, so I'll take your word for it. I hope I won't live to regret it.
You won't. I promise you.
Promises are made to be broken, but thank you for dealing with them. Except I have 2 fresh corpses in my yard.
Now, don't worry. I reckon I've still got a bit of strength left. I ought to be able to manage it before evening.
I'd be eternally grateful to you. But be careful while you're at it. You don't want to open that wound or strain yourself.
What about Sir Hans? How's he doing?
He's holding up, I'd say. I treated his wounds and I'll change his bandages shortly. But what he needs most now is that remedy. Have you got everything for it?
Here. Chamomile and sage, like you said.
Excellent. Now to brew the potion from them. I gave you two the last of my supply during the night. But fresh is best anyways. It's a shame my daughter Pavlena ain't back yet. She'd get it done in a jiffy, but we'll just have to manage without her. But you can do it too. It ain't nothing hard. My eyes are so bad, it'd take me all day. But at least I can tell you how to go about it.
All right, I'll try. Well, I've been at the alchemist bench a few times, but it's been quite a while.
That's grand. More than I was hoping for. And not to worry, it'll all come back to you. I have a book here with the recipe, but it'll be better if I tell you. I know it by heart.
I can read as well as any man, if that's what you mean.
My word. Maybe you really are a noble son.
I'll take the book just in case, but if you give me some advice, I'd be grateful.
Of course. Everything we need is in the hut. Let's get to it. First, go to the recipe book. Now find the recipe for chamomile decoction and remember what you have to do. Then get back to the bench and we'll start. All right. First, you have to pour the right base into the cauldron. Choose the right pitcher from the shelf on the left, according to the recipe. So, what did you pour in there?
Wide, of course. Like it says in the book.
Glad to hear it. Now try moving the cauldron over the flame, so you know how it looks when it starts boiling a bit. Hear that bubbling? It's boiling. Remember that well. For most potions, you just have to simmer the herbs for a bit. But sometimes you need to get it good and hot. So you have to get the fire blazing under the cauldron using the bellows. Try fanning it with the bellows to get it boiling. It's boiling! To keep it going, you mustn't stop with the bellows. If you want to cool it down quick, take it off the flames. Try it. Move the cauldron up. Good. Now we'll start with the brewing. Get all the herbs that you need ready. The ones you picked. Put them there on the shelf, so you've got them at hand. All right. Let's get to it. First, throw 2 handfuls of chamomile into the cauldron. Before you put it on the flame, turn the sand glass so you know how long you're brewing it. It's got to be exact. Every grain of sand counts. See? When the sand has flowed out, that's 1 turn. That's how long you have to boil the chamomile. Move the cauldron to the fire and wait until it starts bubbling. Then turn the sand glass. As soon as the sand runs out, take the cauldron off the fire again. Ain't that enough? Take the cauldron off the flames. All right. Now, take 1 handful of sage, grind it with a mortar and pestle, and drop it in the cauldron. Have you ground it? Good. Now, drop it in the cauldron. You don't have to boil it anymore. All you have to do now is decant it. Get a phial and pour it in. Done. Now, let's see what you've brewed.
Here it is.
Ooh, by the smell of it, it's a chamomile decoction the way it should be.
Happy to help.
This should help Hans get better. I'll take care of it now.
All right. Is there anything else I can do to help?
Well, if you feel up to it, I'd be right grateful to you if you was to rid me of them damn corpses what's lying there the whole time.
Sure. I'll do the best I can.
When you're done with that, go get some sleep. You won't miss anything, and you need the rest after everything that happened.
Fuck. Ah, this damn shoulder. Oof. A cutthroat like him is no great loss. Even so, rest in peace. And may God give you your just reward. Grant the deceased eternal rest, Lord, and let them be bathed in your light. Rest in peace. Amen.
A sword such as this will bring honor to its bearer.
True, Sir Radzig. If I'd have had its like back in Nicopolis, things would have worked out differently.
Where's my fucking sword?
And I found it. Everything I take now will be mine, and I plan to take everything.
Rotted hell!
Why would I miss one sword?
Because it's the last one my father forged, and I promised him I'd deliver it to you.
Stronger dog fucks the bitches, and war is a nasty business.
Where's my fucking sword?
You know what? I think I'll keep it. As a memento.
This isn't over. I'll find you!
Yeah!
Don't disappoint me.
Wake up, Henry. It's past sunrise.
Hallelujah. I thought you'd never wake. Were you having a nightmare?
Bad dreams. You must be Pavlena, right?
That's right. I came in the evening while you were asleep. Ma told me what happened to you. Then I helped Ma take care of your friend that night?
Hans? He's alive. How is he?
Have no fear. He's alive, all right. Maybe too alive. Ma knows what she's doing, and that's the truth. I reckon she could bring the dead back to life. She said she dosed you with the strongest remedies she knows, and it looks like they did the trick. On that other fella for sure. Since he came to this morning, he hasn't stopped talking.
Yeah, that sounds like him, all right.
And what about you? How do you feel?
Definitely better than yesterday. Thanks.
That's good. Ma will be glad. But I heard you yelling in your sleep and went to check on you. Bad dreams?
I dreamt of Istvan Toth, a villainous, murderous whoreson who stole my sword. The last memento I had of my father, and I swore to get that sword back and avenge my parents.
Oh, that oath must be serious if it even torments you in your sleep. Dreams shouldn't be taken lightly. They can have real meaning, however hard they are to understand. What strikes you as the most important part of your dream?
The sword. The last thing Pa forged before they murdered him. It might sound strange, but I feel his soul won't find peace until that sword is back in our family.
It doesn't sound strange at all. And swords are a symbol of kings. It could mean power and responsibility, or war and ruin. After all, a sword has two edges, and it depends who's wielding it.
Thanks, Pavlena. I never thought of looking at it like that. It's a lot to think about.
You're welcome. But remember, it's only my reading. The only one who can really understand you is you yourself.
I expect you're right. So in the end, all the hard work will be on me. But this is all too much heavy thinking at once. Right now, what I need more is a little sunshine and fresh air.
Aye, that's the best remedy for many ailments. And a full stomach will help too. Breakfast is on the table, and I've got something else for you too. Come along. And we must save Ma from the clutches of his lordship.
Look who's finally up! Henry! Come and join us! Good morning, Henry! You have no idea how glad I am to see you. Come join our banquet in the midst of these exquisite woods.
I'm glad to see you too. I see you're in a surprisingly good mood for someone who was at death's door yesterday.
It's all the more cause for merrymaking! Even this water now tastes like the finest wine.
Of course. I did bring it all the way from the spring.
And for that, I am in your debt, fair maid. And I'm grateful to you too, Henry. Bojena told me what happened here yesterday. That's the 3rd time you've saved my life. I suppose I'll have to give you some estate or something.
The 3rd time? What in God's name happened the first 2 times?
Now, Henry, don't make her beg. Tell this good maiden of your heroic deeds.
Well, there was this time when me and Hans had some fisticuffs in the tavern, and for punishment, I had to accompany him on the hunt.
And I shot a boar.
And made it mad. And when Hans chased after the wounded animal, he got caught by a Cuman patrol.
Humans?
They come from somewhere in Hungary. Sigismund brought them here to Bohemia as mercenaries. They're a very dangerous bunch.
I told you about them, though. The fellas in the tavern in Zheleov were saying there's some foreigners like that camping in the rocks down by the pond.
What?
It's just what I heard.
Whoa, that's all we need. I hope they don't turn up here. What could us two do alone against them?
What could they want from us? But if they did come here to rob us, I'd shoot enough arrows into them to make them think twice. But the thing I want to know is, how did it end up with young Sir Hans?
Well, as I said, they took him captive.
There must have been 10 of them. I hadn't a chance.
You must have been seeing double. As I recall, there were 2.
That just proves how well you can count. Besides, they were armed to the teeth and had bows and armour. It might as well have been 10.
Whatever. Anyway, with a bit of luck, I managed to free Sir Hans.
Why the modesty? You got them. Maybe a stroke of luck, but as we know, audentes.
Fortuna juvat.
See now, you've finally learned it.
What?
It's just this kind of motto of ours. Fortune favours the bold.
Maybe they're really telling the truth about who they are. Who but a lord or a priest could know Latin? And priests they ain't. I can tell.
And as I recall, you already got a pony from Uncle Hanush as a reward for saving me. Your pebbles. So I'll save myself a few groschen.
But you never gave me anything for Talmberg.
For Talmberg? What was that about then?
The foe took the castle by subterfuge, and we planned a counterattack.
Under the cloak of darkness, we scaled the mighty walls of Talmberg Castle to get inside and open the portcullis to our brothers in arms who were poised and ready to attack.
And we almost succeeded. Only, along the way, Sir Hans here took an arrow to his noble seat.
Seat? He got shot in the backside.
My upper thigh, actually.
Backside it was. But that's no joke either. It's not easy to run with an arrow stuck in your arse. If I hadn't carried him...
I admit it, you saved my arse.
Well, now, you two have been through a thing or two. As far as I can tell, it really was his backside and not his thigh. I examined Hans and saw the scar for myself. But I reckon you paid off part of your debt the other day, sir.
Yeah, true. I'll never forget you for dragging me all the way here from the lake.
You're quite welcome. The Lords of Lipa do not leave their friends in the lurch.
Do tell. What else did the two of you encounter?
Quite a lot of things. But I'm afraid we don't have much time for storytelling right now. We came here on an important mission and we cannot afford to dally any longer. We have to get to Trotsky as soon as we can. How far is it from here?
Not far. Once you climb the hill above Zhelioth, you'll see the castle.
All right. I think we should get on our way as soon as possible.
I'll prepare a bit of food for you, for your journey.
Bozhena, I don't know how to thank you for all this.
Ah, but I do. Once we've settled our business with von Bergov, I shall reward you as befits a knight. You have my word of honor.
Now you've got me curious. I never got a knight's word before.
For a start, you can leave me that spade. We can't manage without it.
Yes, of course. And thanks for everything you've done, Bozhena.
I have something for you, Henry. Ma had trouble because of you, but I know you didn't do it on purpose, and you protected her when she needed it. I want to thank you for that. Take this potion. It will help when you're in danger or don't know which way to turn. Have a little sip each time, and it'll save you a lot of trouble. You'll see. It's not all that hard to brew. With a bit of practice, you could manage it yourself.
Thanks, Pavlana. This'll come in handy.
No doubt. But we'd better get going now.
Hans is right. We're very glad we met you. And we're obliged to you for your help and hospitality. God bless you.
And you too, sirs.
As Henry says, may God bless you for your generosity and your healing arts. And you have rightfully earned the gratitude of the House of Lipa for all time. If you should ever find yourself in need, the doors of Perkstein shall always be open to you.
Thank you, sir. Though I'm not sure I could find the way to Perkstein. Hopefully we'll never need to take up your offer. Sorry for coming late, Ma. We got held up.
Nothing against the hospitality of the good women folk here, but I want to get to Trotsky Castle right away.
I thought I'd try to sell some baskets and ointments there. And I succeeded.
Emmerich won't be happy.
Then he shouldn't sell.
What about the rest of our company?
He charges nearly twice
Could
as much.
someone else have got away?
So it's no
You
wonder
saw
why
for yourself.
But
They didn't stand a chance.
next time I'll
But you're right, we shouldn't just leave it at that. As soon as we get to Trotsky, I'll make sure they get a proper Christian burial and their souls find peace.
And when we get back to Ratai, we'll have a mass served for them.
You're right. They were damned good lads. I'd known Oates since childhood.
I can take down a hare on
Damn
a
it.
run, and a man's an easier target.
True enough. You've got a
Hold on a bit.
hand and an eye like a hawk.
Before we hit the road, there's something you should know.
You know how it is.
I have a hunch that one of that band that ambushed us at the pond was Istvan Toth.
Toth? Are you yanking my pizzle? He's long since over the hills and far away.
Time to do something useful.
I know how it sounds, but I saw him. Believe me. I'd never mistake his ugly face after all that happened.
Of course, Henry. I know you have accounts to settle with him, but that's nonsense. Toth is in Sigismund's service and is harassing his opponents. And Otto von Bergov is one of Sigismund's allies. So Toth's hardly going to attack his people. It was dark. And God knows what you saw.
I saw him, the bastard, and I'll get him.
Yes, we'll surely get him one day. I promise you. And your sword, too. But I don't think either of them are around here. But I see you haven't wasted any time and found yourself a weapon to replace that sword. That's good. You never know when you might need it around here. Come on, let's get going. Your mind will turn to better things along the way. hope they've got a good physician at this castle. Or at least a barber. I mean, that old crone got me on my feet. But I don't believe much in herbal remedies. You can't beat an educated man of medicine.
And I can't wait to sleep in a proper bed.
And some wine!
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, it's closed. Open up! I bear an urgent message for your liege lord. Hear me! Open the gate! I am a messenger from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Shit! Fuck! You fucking cunts! Do you know who I am?
No, we fucking don't!
I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, heir to Ratai.
Now, look here, you filthy beggar! I'm not here for your amusement, so get your stinking, ragged asses out of here on the double. The pair of you!
What's all this about? Why don't you send those beggars packing?
I did, sir. They say they're messengers.
I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, envoy.
I heard. Nevertheless, I doubt Sir Hanush would send two vagabonds covered in excrement as emissaries. Apart from which, Sir Hans Capon is dead. We found his body by the pond. His company was ambushed by outlaws, and they were slaughtered to the last man.
Yes, yes, they ambushed us, but we managed to get away.
Sir, we met your Captain Thomas on our way. He can testify to who we are. He saw our message and its seal.
How terribly unfortunate you are. The captain's company was also ambushed by outlaws. The captain barely escaped with his life and has been delirious for 3 days. And even if he did confirm your story, I am under strict orders to admit no strangers to the castle.
Sir, there's a horseman approaching in King Sigismund's colours.
Ah, now that's what a messenger looks like. Count yourselves lucky that I don't have time to waste on you. Be gone!
I'm getting in, whether you like it or not.
Get your shitty hands off me! No, wait. Wait, one moment!
What the fuck was that?
So now what?
There's only one thing we can do.
Have you two got any groschen?
What do you take me for, wench?
For someone who stinks like a badger.
Look, we've had a tough couple of days, so we'd like a bit of peace and quiet, a beer, and a bite to eat.
Unless you want to share a bowl of gruel, you're going to need more coin than this.
Just bring the best you have, and we'll settle later.
As the gentleman wishes.
Well, she's not far off. We look like a couple of beggars, and we stink even worse.
What the fuck was all that at the gate? You try to talk to them and get shit poured on your head.
Different lands, different customs.
God's holy britches.
Well, I expect they've had trouble with beggars at the castle, so they act without thinking.
Oh, really? I'd never have figured that out. I'd rather hear some cunning plan how to get out of this shit. Huh?
Well, the first thing we have to do is get ourselves into decent shape. Have a good scrub, get some better clothes. Then they might believe we're actually messengers.
That's all very well, except we can't even pay our bill here. Never mind a visit to the baths and the tailor.
Hey, where's that beer?
So we'll earn some.
Earn?
I'm not afraid of work. And we're gonna need every groschen we can get.
And how long will it take for you to earn a few groschen? And where will you find a decent tailor? Before we get ourselves sorted out, Sigismund will be sitting on the throne in Prague.
So what do you suggest? Going back to Rattay?
To Rattay? You just don't get it, do you? We can't go crawling back like this. We'd be a laughing stock.
A laughingstock? We were outnumbered by a gang of bandits.
Yes, and how come they got away with it? Because we camped at that fucking pond. We've got no message, no coin, nothing but our ragged arses.
Chin up. We'll sort it out somehow, and everything will be fine again.
Nothing will be fine, my friend. I'll tell you 4 reasons why. Oates, Tankard, Conrad, and Nicholas, instead of sitting here with us, having a chat and a laugh, they're just food for crows in some godforsaken hole.
I'm just as much to blame for their deaths as you. We're in this together.
At least we should give them a proper burial as soon as possible. They were good Christians, even though it didn't always seem that way.
We'll keep the promise we made at Bajenis. The best way to honor their memory is to finish our mission. We'll get inside the castle. You'll see. We'll avenge our lads and go back to Rattay with our heads held high. I promise you that.
Audentes fortuna juvat.
Audentes fortuna juvat.
Food. About bloody time.
Here we are. Gentlemen.
What is this stuff?
Hey, there's meat in that. And there's more than you gave me coin for. When you're finished, report for work.
Cheers.
What is it?
That's that woman from the pond.
Or the one you gave us away for?
I've heard that witch. Wench!
What I tell you? What are you waiting for? She can vouch for who we are. Go to her.
God be with you. A full pitcher of wine, please.
My word, that's a pitcher and a half. I ain't seen you here before. Who sent you? Not them nomad vagabonds, I hope.
Don't worry. I've come from the castle. I'm Catherine, and I've got the lovely job of keeping the soldiers' throats wet.
Ah, that's another matter then. Oh my. Ugh. Can you smell that too?
Oof. It stinks like something died here.
Sorry to interrupt.
Jesus, fella. That's a bit much.
Hey, youngster, if you want to go around mixing with my guests here, go and wash the stench off yourself at the trough first. Stinking up my establishment.
Doesn't
I
half
heard
taste
some
good
talk
today.
about your captain.
Oh? What was that?
That is wounded.
Oh, poor Captain Thomas might never get back on his feet. Him and his men were attacked by bandits. Most of them are dead.
Jesus Christ!
Lord von Berghoff is beside himself and won't allow his soldiers out the castle.
Aha! So that's why they sent you for the wine.
I suppose.
Wait a more then.
But the stuff's
I'll be
undrinkable.
right back.
Leave it out. Once you got through...
Sorry to bother you, but I've seen you before.
Oh, eh? I don't remember. Hold on, are you the boy that cleans the pit under the castle shitting hole?
I thought we divided up fairly. But that toe rag only gave me the innards. What do you expect?
You were attacked by those bandits.
What bandits? What are you on about?
Everyone knows about him. Don't name names.
You were attacked at the pond. You, some other women, and so were we as it happens.
I have no idea what you're on about. I work at the castle, and I wasn't at any pond.
My old woman don't know what to do with them. It's not a bad idea. Let's hear it.
What are you playing at, woman? We were attacked by bandits. They killed a lot of people and groped you. If it wasn't for me...
Then what? I'm telling you, I wasn't at any pond. Blimey! I've had lots of men try to woo me with tall stories, but this is the most pathetic attempt yet.
Here's your wine. Is this vagabond bothering you?
I can handle the likes of him myself. Thanks for the wine. Bye.
Please, I don't know what's up with you, but I know you were there. I need your help. You owe me that much. But we need to get to von Berghoff, and you're the only one who can confirm who we are.
You can't get into the castle. And even if you could, that was the King's messenger. Von Berghoff is getting ready to ride out.
Shit.
If you want to speak to him, the best place would be Samin's wedding. He'll be there. For sure.
No, wait.
And don't ever lay your hands on me again.
What are you gaping at? Have you nothing better to do?
Nomads is an acrobat who did all kinds of tricks. An acrobat, eh? What does he do?
Why are you standing here like a pillar of salt? Are you ready?
Always ready.
Glad to hear it. You pair ordered a lot more than you paid for, so you work your debt off, like I said.
All right. What do you want us to do?
Over there by the gate, there's a cart with sacks of flour from the mill. My old man was meant to take them into the house, but as soon as he got a sniff of work, he vanished into thin air. The second door in there leads to the pantry. That's why I need you to haul the sacks. You have to lay each sack on the planks, so they don't touch the damp floor and go mouldy. If you just chuck it on the floor in the corner, it'll spoil. So do it properly. 2 men can finish the work in a jiffy, and then we'll be quits.
All right, we'll do it. Carrying a few sacks won't kill us. For sure, it's less daunting work than fighting bandits in the woods.
Aye, it's terrible about them bandits. We never had nothing like that here before. Like it or not, You can't pay what you owe me, so I'm putting you to work. Is that clear?
All right. We'll do it.
Glad to hear it. I can see you ain't stuck up like your mate. Where are you actually from, if you don't mind me asking?
Ratai.
Ratai. Ratai. That rings a bell. I ain't been further than the back off me whole life, but I know this place inside and out.
I can't wait. I hope my uncle don't let me down.
Where do you want the sacks moved to?
To the pantry. That's the second door inside there. But I'd split the work with your pal if I was you, so you don't do yourself a mischief. It's his debt too, ain't it?
What's life like here?
Better now that you and your pal have finally had a wash. Truth to tell, it used to be better. The war might be far away, but more and more young lads are going away to fight. But then there's a shortage of folk to do the work around here, and that's a big problem.
I'm sorry.
Well, can't be helped. Let's hope things get better.
Where can I find work around these parts?
First, you gotta carry them sacks for me, so don't bother looking anywhere else yet. But otherwise, you can find work anywhere. You just need to keep your eyes open and not be afraid to ask. Try Radovan the smith for one. He's a bit odd, but he'll pay decently for a helping hand. Come to mention it, he's sat just round the corner there, if you want to ask him about it. And that fella next to him is Miller Crazel. He needs helpers now and then, but watch out for him. You know what they say about Millers.
I've heard things all right.
Well then, be careful.
I heard some talk about some wedding being planned here.
Ah, nobody's talking about nothing else. Young Lord Sameen is marrying Agnes, the daughter of Thrush, our Truskovitz bailiff. And it's going to be a grand affair. When rich folks get married, that's a feast that's a lot different from when some tanner gets hitched to a bathouse wench.
Where's the wedding going to be?
At Sameen, of course. I expect old Sir Jan and our bailiff will try to outdo each other in showing off their wealth.
Will Lord von Bergov be at the wedding?
How should I know what his lordship's plans are? But most likely he will be. Sameen is his vassal.
Could I get to the wedding somehow?
I don't know about that, lad. It's for invited guests only.
It seems that's really our only chance.
What's that?
Oh, nothing.
If you want to find out more, there's a couple of guests having an ale over there. Young Svaja there. He's the bride's brother. He can be a bit of a pain, but he's a good lad at heart.
I'll go and discuss it with my friend then.
And careful with them sacks. I don't want you ripping them or anything like that. Aye, coming right up.
Oh, I feel a bit sick.
Easy does it.
Greetings to you.
Likewise, lad.
I haven't seen you here before. Where are you from?
I fled from Silver Skalitz.
Silver Skalitz? You people mine silver there?
Aye. Well, we did. Until Sigismund attacked us.
Bugger me.
He needs coin for his troops, so he goes after the silver, the sly ginger fox. Even the Kuttenbergers surrendered to him not long ago, I heard.
Did you lot surrender to him as well?
He'd have had to talk to us first. They just attacked, burnt down the village, and slaughtered most of the people.
I'm sorry to hear that. May God welcome their souls. Thank Christ we've been spared that kind of misfortune so far, eh, Radovan?
That's because they have silver, and we ain't got shit, Crazel.
Good point.
What do they call you, lad?
I'm Henry.
So, Henry, what was it you were after?
Since you've joined us.
I'm looking for work.
And what can you do?
I can do a lot of things. But mainly, I'm a blacksmith.
Bugger me. A blacksmith, you say? That makes two of us. And my apprentices have just vanished along with my goods, the bastards. When I'm swamped with work. Let's shake on it.
Why work in the smithy when you can work in my mill? The job's cleaner and less grueling.
Oi, I asked him first.
My own pa was a blacksmith, so I spent my whole childhood at the forge. I know how to handle a hammer and bellows.
Bugger me. That's a lot more than the last lot I had. Whenever you're passing by that way, drop into my forge in Takov and ask for Radovan. That's me.
I heard there's going to be a big wedding in these parts. What do you know about it?
That's right. A big affair in Sameen.
Everyone wants to go.
And anyone who's not invited is trying to worm their way in somehow. Not me, though. I couldn't give a toss.
Because you weren't invited, eh?
Of course I was invited. But what do I care about young Sameen and the bailiff's lass? We're all just playthings in God's hands. One day, our earthly bonds will vanish in time, like smoke.
Trying to sound clever again, are you, Crazel?
All I'm saying is that these petty affairs of men leave me cold.
Sod that! It's gonna be big! Even Lord von Burgo himself is gonna be at the wedding, and he hardly ever shows his face in public.
Could someone get to the wedding without an invitation?
Someone? You mean? Forget it, looking like that.
Well, I think it might be possible, using certain methods. Play of light and shadow, a cloak as black as night.
What are you going on about? More Miller's witchery?
All right. I won't say another word.
Semin's bound to keep a damn close eye on his big day, so you won't get in without an invitation.
So, how can I get to the wedding?
The best thing would be to find a job that'll be needed there.
Aye. There's always lots of hands needed at a wedding. As the hours pass and the guests raise their goblets, they'll lower their guard.
Bugger it. Cut the mysterious horseshit. You'll scare the lad. Look, if I'm satisfied with you in the smithy, I can guarantee you'll be at the wedding.
Or, if you came to help me at the mill, I'll get you there as well.
Keep your nose out, Crazel. The lad wants to work for me. It's his family trade, so don't try to mess with his head.
Well, maybe he'll change his mind.
Would it be possible to get to von Burgov, even though he keeps his distance from people?
I don't know. He's either locked away in his castle or traveling somewhere. And he's powerful and important. So the only chance of meeting him is at the wedding. At least for us who are invited.
And everybody will want something from him. He'll be dancing for joy, I can tell you.
I haven't been here before, and I'd like to learn something about this region.
What's there to say? It's not a bad place to live.
It's usually peaceful, thank God. I don't like too much excitement.
You've got good reason to hide, I reckon.
That's enough of your mudslinging. It's actually good to live in an estate where the Lord's away most of the time.
That's true. Just a couple of villages, rocks, fields, not even a church worth the name, in fact. That's despite Otto van Burgo being one of the kingdom's most powerful nobles. The darkest place is under the candlestick, as they say.
When his lordship isn't in these parts, his chamberlain stands in for him. Ulrich von Schomberg's his name.
I saw him on the gate tower when he sent us packing like beggars.
Aye, he's a right haughty bastard. On the other hand, he can be negotiated with.
If you can get to him.
I've got to be going.
Wait, there's something else I want to ask. What brought you all the way from Scarlet's? And who's that companion of yours?
We were straightforward with you, so don't be shy and tell all.
It's a long story. What I will say is that fella who looks like he sleeps in a dung heap is Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein. We were supposed to deliver a message to Lord von Bergov at Trotsky. We set up camp down by the pond, and in the evening we were attacked by bandits. They slaughtered our men. It was only through luck that we saved our skins. We lost everything, even the letter. So they wouldn't let us into the castle.
Can't say I'm surprised. I'd send you packing myself. But it's true, there's bandits marauding in these parts. They're getting bolder and bolder. Even attacked a patrol from the castle recently.
Aye, these are evil times. Nothing ever happened like that in King Charles's day.
Farewell then, Henry.
Farewell.
She's strong as an ox, and she stamps and bites when she's upset.
Innkeeper, what's taking so long?
Hold up.
Am I supposed to open my mouth and wait for it to rain?
I'm gonna lose a... What are you standing here for?
I'm waiting. I'm paid to transport loads, not to haul them on my back. The cart won't unload itself, will it?
Well, that's a stroke of luck. I'm just looking for a job myself. How about I haul those sacks?
It's all the same to me. Go and talk to the innkeeper about it.
What do you mean? Why the long face?
Oh,
One day, we were in their time.
did you hear about what happened at the big wheel?
At the mill?
Yeah.
The clearer it is to me that
I talked to that woman from the pond.
So I noticed, and you took your time coming back to me. It didn't look like she was too pleased to see you, though.
The main thing is, she denied ever being at the pond.
It's definitely her, though. You don't forget a figure like hers.
I got the feeling she didn't want to talk about it for some reason. I did get something out of her, though.
What? Don't keep me in suspense.
Von Bergov is about to leave the castle.
Sacre! If he pledges to Sigismund before we can get to him, everything's fucked.
Calm down, let me finish. There's also going to be a big wedding in the region. Young Sir Alder, the son of a respected nobleman from nearby Semine Fort, is marrying Agnes, the daughter of Thrush, the local bailiff. It's the talk of the town. Invitation only, it seems. But getting to the wedding isn't as impossible as it might seem. There'll be lots of jobs to do for it. So we could get there as help for the blacksmith, or miller, and maybe someone else.
Why should some wedding in a shithole near Trotsky be of any interest to us?
Because it looks like von Bergov will be there.
Oh, that's fantastic news, Henry. So all we have to do is get on the guest list. And that shouldn't be a problem because you've got a cunning plan, right?
Like I said, there's going to be a lot of work involved in a wedding like that. That's our chance.
Work. Well, if you want. But how will you get me to the wedding?
Well, I thought we could both get jobs there.
I'm sure there are other options.
There's something else we have to sort out first. I spoke to the innkeeper.
I noticed that too.
We can work off our debt. All we have to do is carry a few sacks of flour from that cart to the pantry. If we both do it, we'll be finished in no time.
Lug sacks? Are you yanking my noble pizzle?
I'm serious.
I can't work. I'm a noble. What if someone saw me?
Do you have any idea what you look like?
Well, all right. I may not look much like a noble, but my blood's still blue. People will remember my face, and when everything's cleared up, word will get around that I lugged sacks here like some beggar. As if the disgrace at the gate wasn't enough.
Enjoy your
Oh!
meal.
Work, your lordship, is an activity that all us common folk have to do when we need money. And it wouldn't hurt you for once either.
Henry, haven't you ever heard of the 3 states of man?
Would that be some aristocratic excuse?
Not so fast. It's God's law. Oratoris, the priests who pray for us. Laboratoris, the plebs who shovel shit and pay taxes. And Bellatoris, the warriors who protect the ones on their knees or in the fields. Now, which am I? So if you find me a sword, I can get to work. But wield a pitchfork or carry sacks?
Well, here you have
That's
it.
against God and nature.
So, which do I belong to?
Good question. Before I'd have said you were a peasant, but it turned out that you're a noble's bastard. And you're pretty handy with a sword. And you've even been in a monastery.
I'd rather forget about that.
You're a bit of everything. But if you get your hands dirty with labour, it wouldn't be such an offence against divine order as in my case. Pure blood, noble status and that. In short, be so kind as to get to work. I promise I'll make it up to you.
I'm going then. But you could give me a hand. It wouldn't do you any harm.
Ah, stop whining. You can manage. Well, if it makes you feel better, I'll scratch your back later.
How? By giving me a large estate?
That too, of course. Maybe 2 estates. But above all, once we're out of the worst, I'll help you find your dog. As soon as we have at least some gear, we'll head into the forest and find Mutt in a trice. Although, if you think about the 3 states of man, looking for lost dogs is more like a huntsman's work. But let's pay no mind to that.
How generous of you, Lord Capon.
I know, my dear Henry. Such is my nature.
Oh, I feel a bit sick.
Deep breath. We'll talk about it later.
Oof!
A couple more
That isn't
steps
half
and I'll be
heavy.
on my way.
Oh.
I'm a bit peckish. Christ, what's the hold up?
Christ, pardon me.
but the two of us managed to get away. It was the same bandits who attacked Lord von Bergov's men. Why the fuck doesn't anyone believe us?
Maybe because you've got no way of proving it?
We lost everything. How
Hold
hard
up.
is that
Am
to
I supposed
understand?
to open my mouth and wait for it to rain?
And you're up to no good. We should kick both of you out.
Like I'm invisible or something.
Sit down and shut your mouth, or I'll shut it for you. Just try it, you worm. Just try it. I might just do that.
What did you say? Say it again.
It was their own fault.
What do you mean? They attacked themselves? What the fuck are you trying to say?
Everyone knows it's dangerous around Trotsky. Making camp in such an unprotected place is suicide.
Where else were they supposed to make camp, smart-ass?
Somewhere in the rocks, maybe. Not out in the open by the pond. Only a fool would do that.
Stop insulting our dead companions!
What dead companions? You think I'm gonna fall for that cock and bull story?
Pack it in, Henry. There's no point in arguing with this yokel. He fancies himself as a military strategist.
I don't believe a word you're saying. A weed like you surviving a fight against bandits even von Berghoff himself has trouble with?
Believe what you like, but I'm telling the truth. And in fact, I'm willing to overlook all your insults if you apologize right now. And invite me to that wedding.
Did you hear what that lying nobody wants?
I am Sir Hans Capon, Lord of Perkstein, and I demand your immediate apology.
I am Sir Hans Capon, Lord of Perkstein. Sir Hans Capon, Lord of Perkstein. You're starting to bore me. You and your silly made-up name.
No apology, then. It looks like I'm going to have to teach you a lesson.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Didn't you hear? Apologize to him.
Oh no! Reinforcements! I'm so scared! Take your numbskull friend and get out of our village. Right now!
I give you a chance to apologize, and you keep insulting me? Get ready to pick up your broken teeth with broken fingers.
Oh, I'd like to see that. Come on, then.
You scum!
I'll kill you!
Don't spare him! Madman!
I'll beat you to a bloody pulp, fucker! Nice hit!
I'm gonna gut you, you whore son!
Yeah! Don't spare him!
Now you're finished!
Once more and we can go home! Good!
Send my greetings to the devil!
Don't hurt
anyone else!
What the hell is going on here? Grab them vagabonds!
Bastards! This will cost you dearly. Keep your mouth shut and don't make it worse. What? You behave like a spoilt brat. How dare you speak... Oh. You know, if you just shut up and done some work,
we'd have coin by now and be on our way to the castle, but no, not his lordship.
You've got a nerve. If you hadn't have played the hero, we'd have been there long since and I wouldn't have had to get you out of that mess.
Oh yeah, 'cause this isn't a mess, is it?
Fuck off! Shut up! Or you'll get a whipping too.
Just who the hell do you think you are?
I'm sorry, sir, but it's your fault what happened in the tavern.
What? My fault? You can't be serious. Whose fault is it that we're in this fucking pillory?
I was just defending you. Should I have let that fop beat you senseless?
I only wanted him to apologise. I'd expect my right-hand man to argue my case a bit better.
What do you think I was trying to do? Ah, what an idiot I was to stand up for you.
And what good did it do? Fuck all! If it hadn't been for me, we wouldn't have even been in that tavern. We've been in the shit right from the start because you had to play at being the knight in shining underwear, saving damsels in distress.
I don't believe it. You're trying to put the blame on me? Just like that?
Who else is to blame? You're just a simple peasant who has no idea how the world works.
Oh, and our little prince knows all about it, doesn't he? You only left your uncle's a week ago. All you've known up to now is a tavern on Rat-Eye Green.
Now you've gone too far. I've had it up to here with you. With you and your pontificating. You were supposed to make sure nothing went wrong. And how did that turn out? It was me who had to save your life. You're fucking useless. You couldn't even keep an eye on your own mutt.
That's enough! Don't you fucking realise how badly you've been wronging me all this time? I bend over backwards for you, I tolerate all your stupid fucking whims, and what do I get? Insults and accusations. But right from the start you acted like you were on some nobleman's outing. All you cared about was whoring and boozing. You know full well the ambush was your fault, and now you're kicking out so you don't have to admit it.
What do you...
But let me finish. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth like you, but unlike you, I'd have managed to deliver that message. That's because I'm responsible and know how to behave in a way that doesn't make me feel ashamed. In a way that would make my parents proud of me.
Which parents do you mean? Radzig?
Aye, Radzig, let's say. Nobody could be proud of you, Capon. Nobody.
We'll see who's proud of who.
Right, ladies. Time to go home. But I swear to Christ, if I catch you again, I'm gonna skin you both alive. Isn't that Master Otto?
Hey! Lord von Berghoff!
Oh, shit. Right, where were we? Go on, get out of my sight.
What are we gonna do?
You can do as you like. You can go and carry sacks or dig latrines. I'll look after myself. I'll go and see Lord von Berghoff at the wedding. I bid you farewell.
Oh. Yeah. If I were in your shoes, I'd be glad to be rid of the good for nothing, eh? Yeah. All right, off you go.
I suppose
Hey,
I really
you.
do need to find some job. I'll find muck without you, you stuck-up Lord of Perkstein.
Hey, over here. Well, come on. I don't bite. Do you have a moment?
What do you want from me?
I don't want anything from you. I should actually be thanking you.
Uh-huh. For what?
I've been begging for alms here for days, but I didn't make any real coin till today. And that's thanks to you. The scene you made brought out nearly all of Troskowitz.
You don't have to thank me. I could have done without it. And that fracas in front of the tavern as well.
Oh well, not many people can make such a strong first impression. But look on the bright side.
Hmm?
Now things can only get better.
Barely. Look at me. They just let me out of the pillory. Nobody wants anything to do with me. And I don't even know what hill that is over there.
Well, that there hill is Slatego. And you pull yourself together. Like Tomcat says, nothing's impossible. And bruises build character.
Hey, you. What's your name, anyway? What do you do?
I'm Bara. Just Bara.
Looks like you know your way around here pretty good. You're from here, right?
I ain't. I'm just passing through.
You're something like a wanderer.
Nah, I usually find work with someone, stay for a while, and once I save a bit, I move on.
Then why are you begging here?
Sometimes I collect herbs for the apothecary, or help in the tavern. But I'd like to go somewhere else, so I'm scraping up whatever I can. But on the whole, you could say I'm a traveller, or a nomad. But don't say it too loud, the locals don't take kindly to them.
Why?
Because they're different, and it scares people. They travel from place to place and take their home with them.
I'd like to see what their homes look like.
You can go and see them, just don't stare too long.
Why exactly are you helping me?
Why? Why? Because you look like you need it. I've been in the ship plenty of times, and I know how appreciated a helping hand is in times like that.
Where are you headed? If you're only passing through here.
For work, to the city. I'm tired of serving landholders. They all promise the moon, but
Then you're eating stale bread, cold porridge, and a nary a groschen in sight. With the city folk, it's bound to be better.
You said you were going to a city. You mean like to Prague? Or somewhere further?
I'd like to go to Prague, but I don't know anybody there. In Kuttenberg, at least I have a cousin.
Aha. So you're going to visit her?
Well, she doesn't know it yet. But I won't be troubling her long, just until I find a way to make a living.
What do you want to do in the city?
I'll find something. I'm not afraid of work. I'm not half-witted. Maybe someone could use a cook or a servant.
Don't get your hopes up. The city can be a pretty dangerous place for a girl on her own.
You mean they don't hand out groschen by the bucketful? And the streets aren't full of roasted stuffed geese? I appreciate your concern, but I have to get to the city first. That's going to take me a long while yet.
Do you know anything more about Tomcat?
They say he's a master swordsman, but a real joker too. He loves showing off to girls.
Do you think Tomcat might teach me a few of his tricks?
No offence, but compared to him, you're a bit of a lightweight.
I don't want to pull wagons, but if he can handle a weapon, I'd be happy to train a little with him.
Well, one of the guards tried to take him on and came back whipped like a dog, moaning like he'd been broken in two.
Well, sure. If he's that strong, I'm not surprised.
More like some trick he's got that our watch doesn't know. Or at least that's what the poor man said.
How does he show off for the girls?
With his muscles. He ricks logs with his hands. He even let himself be run over by a loaded hay wagon. Crazy. But to be fair to him, he sometimes helps people. Stanislav's sheep fell into a pit one time.
And Tomcat pulled it out?
And, not just that, he crawled down to get it. And when he found the poor thing had a broken leg, he carried it on his back all the way home.
Where might I run into Tomcat?
In the camp by the tower. That is, by Rock Tower Pond. He watches the camp for the nomads.
Should I watch out for them?
No, I don't think so. They mind their own business, but strangers usually mean trouble for them, so they're careful. Try not to stare too hard and hold your tongue, otherwise Tomcat will show you some of his other skills.
Good day to you. And with you.
Do you know where I might find accommodation?
Betty in the tavern lets people sleep in the hay. But you have to pay.
I'm not going near that tavern. I'd catch hell again. Got any other ideas?
If you find some work, maybe you'll get a place to sleep too.
Damn. I could use a horse. It'll take years to get to Semien on foot.
Don't exaggerate. This province is small.
Still, it would be faster with a horse.
There's a stud farm in Semien, renowned far and wide.
And which way is Semien?
Southwest from here, not too far. There's a road goes right there from the green. Just go down the hill. Once you see the walled farmhouse, you're there. Though I'll be a queen before you can afford a horse from Semien.
Oh well. It was nice to meet you, but I should probably get going. Get a job, and so on.
Don't worry, you'll manage. Till we meet again.
you, gather round and listen. I have to warn you about the greatest evil and danger on God's earth.
Fucking shavings.
I'm here then. You said in the alehouse that you could do with a helping hand at the forge, didn't you?
I could. My last two hands, well, they're not worth mentioning. And what with the wedding coming up, the work is piling up. Ah, what's your name? Henry?
That's right.
You said something in the tavern about being a blacksmith's son, didn't you?
Aye, that's me. My father was a swordsmith, and not just any. He even forged swords for the nobility.
For the nobility, eh? Well, that kind of experience will come in very handy for me indeed. As it happens, I have to forge a wedding present for young Lord Semine. A fine sword.
So you'll take me on?
Hold your horses. I'll have to try you out first. You could forge me a hunting sword as a test, so I can see if you can make a straight blade. That shouldn't give you much trouble if your father was a swordsmith, should it?
Sure thing. I can get started right away.
Great. Find some iron and get started then.
Iron?
You can't make a sword out of butter, but if you don't have your own stuff, you can get everything from the chest in my forge. Furnace is cold now. Give it a practice try. Some things, like swords, are too long to fit in the fire. You have to heat it up bit by bit. Try poking it around for a bit. Now get the furnace nice and hot. There's a lever above it. Give it a pull. It works better. Able to tell when it's in the fire. You have to take it out from time to time and take a look. Try it out. See? It's the color of straw, which is what you want. And you heated the whole thing up. Nicely done. Now you can go straight to the anvil. Try moving the sword along the anvil so you can get the hang of it. Now take the hammer and try hitting it a few times. See the sparks? That's the sign of a good strike. The more sparks, the better. Also, you can hammer with different degrees of power. A stronger hit will do more, but it'll tire you out faster. Try giving it a few blows, as hard as you can, so I can see how strong you are. That's got a nice ring to it. Of course, if it was all about hitting an anvil with a hammer, any dolt could do it. You've got to hammer the workpiece evenly. One hit next to the other. Very nice. You're doing just fine. But when I say evenly, I mean it. A sword has two sides, like a lot of other things, including myself. Turn it over and continue on the other side. Nice. Now try forging it on both sides. The closer it is to being finished, the more it will take on the shape you want. It'll cool off soon anyway. It's cooled now. You can't do it all in one go. You've got to put it back in the furnace from time to time. Sometimes you've got to go there and back all day. but it's all part of the craft. Now, get back to the forge and heat it all up again, like before. Thing is heated up now, so come over to the anvil. Hear that? Besides the sparks, you can tell a good strike by the sound it makes. See how it's taking on the right shape? That's how you can tell it's almost finished. Now, I've got a piece of advice for you. Hammer to a rhythm. There you go. You've got it finished. All that's left is to temper it. And the sword will be done. The rest is just tweaking. Right. Let's have a look. Very nice work. Your father taught you the trade well.
He'd certainly be happy to hear that.
If you carry on hammering as well as you did today, you've definitely got a job here. Even so, keep in mind, it's all about making sure every strike does its job. That's why you can't let it get cold, or keep striking the same spot. If you work evenly, each strike falling right next to the last one, you can't go wrong. Got that? Or is there something else you want to ask about?
Thanks. That's all I need to know.
You can sleep in the chamber by the woodshed. And there's a chest where you can keep your things. And of course, you can use the forge anytime you want. Any questions?
Where can I get materials?
You can buy some essentials from me. But if you want to make a fancy sword with lots of ornamentation, you'll have to look elsewhere. This is just a village, you know. The locals ain't after luxury. And they can't afford it neither.
What can I do with the items I've forged?
Well, you can sell them. Though you probably won't have much luck around here. But I'll happily buy some of the nicer things from you.
Where exactly is my bed?
At the side of the house. There are 2 doors and a wheelbarrow between them. You go in by the rear door, next to the woodshed. And you can put your things in the chest there. Don't worry, nobody'll steal them.
What now?
What do you think? You're not going to be idle. I'll find you some work to do right away. You're pretty good at swords, but what the locals really need is axes and horseshoes. Right, here are some simple drawings that show what they're both supposed to look like. And some iron. You can get down to it right away.
Just like that? You aren't going to help me?
Sacre, lad. I chose you because you already know a thing or two. I'm not going to look over your shoulder all bloody day. You take care of these smaller jobs. Forge away as long as you're able, and then sell it all. Once you've made some coin and feel like being out in the open again, I'll give you some more interesting work.